Welcome to the Casual Experience.
Hello, casuals. You're welcome to the Casual Experience Show,
Yeah.
a show for MMA enthusiasts where we talk about fights and give you daily MMA updates. And International Fight Week is upon us, and it's going to be at the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, headlined by Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. And I'm here with my guys, Fedi and Chimzy. What's up, guys?
We good. I'm chilling.
How have you guys been?
Always good.
And the fight week is upon us, and it's International Fight Week where the UFC churns out good and great fights. We are going to be having 2 title fights in this card. Yeah. But let's just dive into the main card. The former featherweight champion against a former lightweight champion that most people seem to be underestimating. What's your view, Fedi?
Well, this is going to be a champion versus champions fight. You know, it's like I said earlier before the breakdown. It's to be very hard to predict, because those guys they are my favorites anyway. When it comes to grappling, Oliveira, and when it comes to striking, Topuria, and coupled with where they are coming from, these guys are strugglers.
Yeah.
They are not lazy people. They eat from their struggle, and they've used it and to become stars. When it comes to Oliveira, let me just start with Oliveira first. He has been suffering from different diseases while growing up. He has a affiliation aspiration of being a footballer. They told him that he's too skinny and he can't grow up, so they didn't take him when he was 12. So imagine from a child having that rejection right from growing up. It was so difficult for him, and his parents had to sell snacks to promote him, but he failed in the MMA too. It was his neighbor that now helped him out and start giving him cheap lessons. That was how he grew up and everything, and he became Brazilian top star assistant. But before that, let me just tell you why he was in the UFC. He was not 100%.
Yeah.
He has never complained about his health to anyone, but he kept on fighting and everything. And sometimes you can see that whenever he get knocked out, he lie down for you to come closer to him, right? Not because of anything, because of his sightedness, his short-sightedness he had in the bouts and his heart disease and everything. I really love that about him. This is a tough guy. And let me go down to Ilia too as well. Ilia is not just an ordinary guy. This is a guy that has suffered from war. You know, he was born in Germany first of all. You know, from Germany moved down to Georgia, from Georgia, Spain. None of them were born with golden spoon. But I really want to say that it's going to be a tough bout and hard to predict.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to predict. But Chimzy, for Charles, it's his opportunity to create history.
Of course.
Be the first to hold the lightweight title 2 times.
Okay.
2 times. He held it once.
Yeah.
He wants to create history. But for Ilia, he's been chipping here and there. In fact, do you know he held a press conference for himself? I've never seen anybody do that. He held a press conference for himself, telling you all what he's going to do to Charles. He finished sparring and said, poor Charles. They asked him about Paddy. He gave his takes on Paddy. Do you think he's putting a lot of pressure on himself?
Yeah, I feel like that's Ilia, man. He's that guy. He wants to. I watched an interview of him. He says he does these things because he's confident in his abilities.
Yeah.
Right. So he just does it to, what fighters do this thing a lot, trash talk and all that, just to put fires on their. It does something to them. It doesn't mean that they are not scared of the bout, or it just puts that extra,
on their opponents or themselves.
On themselves, on themselves, so that they come out and like overperform, or So yeah, Ilia is confident in his abilities. But at the end of the day, a fight is a fight.
Yeah.
Till they step in there, and that's when we're going to know what's really going to happen.
Yeah, but if you look at their challenges.
Yeah.
Last year, 2024 was Charles' last fight against, in my opinion, an over the top Chandler. I mean, and before then he lost to Aman, won against Gaethje, won Dustin. But on the flip side, you have Ilia that knocked out arguably 2 of the 2 goats in featherweight. Who has more pressure, or the more substance in this fight? You feel, Fedi?
Well, he's Ilia, because Ilia has been on 16-0 or 17-0, I guess. He has not lost. So that alone, you're under pressure at distance. Keeping your streak to make it balance is very difficult, because this is MMA. You mix everything up in order for you to be perfect. And when it comes to the grappling, I hope Ilia is prepared for that fight, because it's not going to be like his normal.
You think he'll be grappling in it?
From 1 down to the 25 minutes, because we all were expecting Kamaru to go with Buckley in an explosive bout, but what did he do? Yeah, he went to his own way. If Ilia will be able to push the bout in his own way, that's proper boxing and everything, he's going to come out top. But when it comes to Topuria, if he allow Oliveira to control the fight, he's going to come out short in it. So.
You want to say something?
But, yeah, the thing about Charles is the fight. Of course, every fight starts on the feet.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing about Charles is not the fighter to actively shoot for takedowns. He's going to impose his grappling one way or the other, but he's not like an Usman that is going to try to shoot a double leg on you or shoot a single leg on you. You know, he's going to just find a way to impose his, maybe by clinching or by, shot take you to the ground one way or the other and impose his submission threats and all of that. And yeah, a lot of people say Ilia's ground game is good. Ilia was a wrestler even before he started throwing hands.
Yeah.
And all that, but his wrestling hasn't really been tested in the UFC. Yeah. No one has really. I don't know if it's because of the matchups he has been getting, or he's just that good.
But Bryce Mitchell tried taking him down now.
It didn't work, right? Yeah, so you can understand where his confidence is coming from. He's an undefeated fighter.
Yeah.
He knocked out arguably 2 of the best featherweights of all time.
Yeah.
But this is the thing a lot of people are asking: how does his power translate in lightweight division? He's moving a weight class above, right? So he's not fighting those guys, those featherweight guys anymore. And Charles gets knocked down a lot, and Charles gets hit a lot. And the power we've seen from Topuria, he knocked out Holloway cold. He knocked out Volkanovski cold. So a lot of people are saying, can Charles' chin survive those hands? I mean, that's what we're going to find out.
But the one fight Ilia got rocked was in lightweight against Jai Herbert. The kick.
Exactly what I'm saying. That was a lightweight. That was a lightweight fighter.
Yes, 5 fights ago.
And and the power is different. 10 pounds. It looks like mere, but it's not just 10 pounds.
Yeah.
You know.
He was even saying that he feels he will be heavier than Charles in the cage.
Ilia
is going to talk his talk.
He said he feels he will be heavier than Charles in the cage.
Ilia is just a new version of Conor McGregor.
But let me read out some obvious stats to you guys. Ilia is 28, obviously younger than Charles. Charles is 35 years old, and me, when I'm looking at the stats, I always consider age a lot, and I always consider wear and tear. Charles has had 45 fights.
Yes, 10 losses.
35. In fact, the number of wins he's had almost doubles Ilia's total fights.
Yeah.
Don't you think experience is going to turn out trumps there? Just the way you mentioned Usman, Fedi.
Yeah, well, I always come up with the underdog right from my own stats, but it's going to be it's not going to be like Usman versus Buckley, because Ilia Topuria is another type of animal. He comes out, he said what he wants, and he does what he's good at. Just like what he said he's going to knock out Volkanovski, he did. He's going to knock out Max Holloway. I don't know if you saw that Max Holloway bout. The first round, the first minute, he was at the middle. Was calling Max to come up in the middle.
Let's come on and do the same thing.
Let's do the same thing.
With Gaethje.
Max was like, "Come on, this is my own game. You're bringing my own game to me." It was.
That alone was a win.
Exactly.
The fact that I didn't even come to trade with him.
The mind game he has.
He understands the power.
Yes.
Exactly.
And he plays the kind of mind game that is typical of Conor.
McGregor. He's a fanboy anyway. You can see his stats, the fronts and the back and everything. And he used to be a fanboy of Conor.
But right now, the UFC are pushing him and riding him to the moon, don't you think? In fact, I feel that they are pushing him bigger than Islam.
Do you know why?
That's Ilia.
Yes.
I feel like it's because of Ilia. Ilia creates highlights.
Yeah.
He's a highlights boy, right? He has always been a highlight boy. He's an undefeated fighter. So that in itself is something. Charles has more finishes in the UFC than Ilia has MMA fights.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
but Ilia has a lot more highlights in recent times. Ilia he's fighting, he's knocking you out, you know. So it's always a real with Ilia, and you can understand it now. If he makes money, it makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's riding
yes.
on that fan power, of
Yeah.
course, understandably so.
His last five fights,
Yeah.
performance of the night.
Yes.
For sure.
Like Ilia, last 5 fights. If he doesn't knock
sure.
you, he just knock you cold out.
Cold.
Yeah.
And obviously Charles Dobron, we know that he is the king of performances. Yeah. So I want to ask both of you.
Okay.
Do you see the fight getting to the final bout, to the final round?
No.
You
No.
think it will be over before?
No, that's the thing. That's why it's very difficult to predict. But these two guys are always looking for the finish.
Yeah.
Ilia
They're
is
both
always-
finishers.
Yeah, Ilia is trying to knock
Those
you
guys are
out.
good,
Ilia is trying to knock you out.
Yeah.
Charles is trying to submit you. So it's difficult to say if the fight, but I don't think it's going to go the distance.
Yeah, but you said
Difficult.
for the first minute to 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be, like what I said previously. I said Oliveira is going to come up to his face from
Yeah.
the 1 minute down to
Yeah.
5 minutes, because this is not going to be a regular bout where we've seen whereby I will allow you
Ilia
to
will
come.
push him back.
He wants to bring the fights down to Ilia, because Ilia, all the trash talking and everything, he gets through to him so as well. He's also a human being, right?
Yeah.
I feel like he's
But the good thing is that he doesn't speak much English. He doesn't even understand much English. So whatever Ilia has been saying,
yeah, he doesn't want to learn that English. He's good at what he does. He's a prince in Brazil.
Yeah.
The Bronx and everything. And all I want to say to Ilia is Oliveira has resilience. He's a beast in his own time, you know. And we're going to see experience versus young,
Yeah.
because just like how what Usman did to Buckley, all what he said, I'm going to kill you, break your big head and everything, all went south.
yeah.
You know, so all I'm trying to say is Ilia Topuria is a threat to that division, and for you to be a threat, for you to go to the greater heights, you need to go through some tough times. If he can succeed Oliveira, he has.
And Charles,
that's
that
one
we
of
know,
the-
once the bell rings, you see him marching forward and coming forward to want to tip kick you.
Yeah.
The same thing with Ilia. Meet in the middle, and they are just going to bang it out. So
But that can be a problem for Charles, so
really,
because of that power. See, that power is different.
but he has a longer reach. I know Charles does this thing that he collatize you, kind of. Even when you are throwing punches, he collatize you and
yeah.
and just kind of glides around your punches.
Another thing is a lot of people underestimate Chelsea's striking.
Exactly.
That guy has power too.
Exactly.
Yeah, he has power, and it's not just the
Exactly.
power. He's very technical.
Yeah.
All right.
Those knees up the middle, you know, his tip kicks, like you mentioned, up the middle, and like you mentioned, that length is something. I think he has like
Reach.
4-5
Reach,
inches
yes.
of height and reach. Like over Ilia, so that's going to be something. But Ilia, I saw Ilia say something. They kept on asking him about the press conference he held.
Yeah.
Kept on asking him about how doesn't he feel like he's going to be too small for the division and all that, and he goes on yapping. He's like, I'm a fighter, man. If someone's trying to disrespect my wife on the street,
yes,
am I going to ask?
I want to ask you
what do you weigh?
Yeah.
Or how tall are you? I'm a fighter,
He's
man.
going to fight it out.
Yeah.
So of course he's going to say what he has to say, but then at the end of the day, it's still the entire inside the cage that we're going to know.
Yeah. So how do you see the fight playing out? When you are looking at it, how do you see the fight playing out?
Me,
You, yeah.
Okay. Like I said, he's not going to go the distance. I feel like he's not going to go the distance, just because the both of them are finishers.
Yeah.
But how the fight is going to play out, to be honest, I can't stand here and tell you this is how it's going to play out, because both of them have like a complete skill set.
Yeah.
Ilia is more known for his striking, but apparently he's a wrestler first. He was always been a wrestler, like lifelong wrestler, right? Charles is a jiu-jitsu specialist, so it's very difficult to say how the fight is going to play out. But I know there's going to be a finish.
Yeah. But
For sure.
and people are looking out for prediction. What's your prediction on that fight?
Oh my God, this is very difficult. It's very, very difficult. But I'm going to edge it. I'm going to give the edge to Ilia, just a bit, just a little bit, just like what the odds are saying, just a little bit. But it'll be hard for me to put my money on Ilia, because Charles has that experience. He's a finisher. like Charles is not out till he's out.
Yeah.
Till he can't move his limbs anymore.
Yeah.
And he Charles has more paths to victory, if you ask me. Charles can knock him out, he can submit him, you know, he can just keep him on the ground. He can just stall it out if he wants to as well. You get me? So Charles has more paths to victory, but Ilia's path to victory is more in our face because of what he has done to, of course, Volkanovski and Holloway. So it's very difficult to predict, but I'll just give the slight edge to Ilia.
Yeah. And Fedi, how do you see the fight playing out?
My prediction, right?
And before that, to couple with what Chimsy just said, Ilia said any of his opponents, he could. Who was it? He said he would ask him which. It was Volk that he would ask him, which way do you want me to finish you? do you want a knockout? Do you want a submission? So Ilia could do the same thing.
He's this is a guy that has a proper winning mentality right from the onset. So his first bout, that's Ilia Topuria, he has first 5 victory. So he never, like they asked him one time, he said he never had the mind of having a winning streak all through his life, but he said now he's enjoying the winning streak. And to this fight, he should not expect to face Volkanovski, the old guy, anyway, the big daddy of the division. He should not expect to face Max Holloway. He's going to face his own type of human being too. Yeah, he's a damaged guy too. Both of them are intentionally wicked to themselves. These are MMA fighters that are hoping to collide on that day. We should not expect. This is not like a Toyota, a Fiat to a Lamborghini. This is a Dodge to Dodge that's going to fight. So we should expect all vicious acts, snake-like minds, and lion hearts too in that bout. And we should expect if Charles Oliveira escaped the first 7 minutes 25 seconds of that bout, he's going to win.
You're very precise.
He has a very
7 minutes and 25 seconds.
Because that's the takeoff. You know, when you're in the flight, you know, when you escape the first takeoff and the last takeoff. 8 minutes, so my prediction is if Charles survives the first 7-25 minutes of that bout, he's going to come out tall. But if because Topuria he's just like a Uzi. He comes out with his strike first. He just wants to replicate the Conor McGregor, the Mystic Mark prediction where he say, I'm going to knock you out the first round, and it starts how he wrote. So I'm just going to give it to Ilia in this one because, like he said, he's at his top form now. He's 28. Yeah. And Charles too is 35. The age will play a major role. And the trash talking to us actually may have drained Charles. But I don't
Charles
think
understand.
They understand. They speak English.
They only vex you if you understand it.
You know why? If I'm facing you, I want to know everything about you, whether you say anything about my parents, so that I'll use that as a bad blood.
But it's not all fighters that do that.
All fighters do that. Even I don't know if you remember when Gilbert Bones said about Kamzat Chima.
Kamzat understands.
No, like when Kamzat was saying some stuff about
that fuel.
Yeah, exactly.
Gilbert.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So as a fighter, if somebody says something about my parents or my brother or my siblings or my well-wishers, I want to use that to bury them alive, you know.
I feel like Charles is a lot more experienced. Like he has gone through different personalities. He was a featherweight fighter before for like a very long time. He fought Dustin Poirier at featherweight. Yes,
but he didn't thrive as much as
of course.
He didn't do well in featherweight.
But that was like his early. You know, he came into the UFC when he was like 22, 23. He's 35 now. Wow. So like
he's been there a long time.
He's been there. So I don't think all these things get to him. I think he just wants to come, fight, get his paycheck, be champion and bounce, go back to Brazil. I think that's what he's about. He's not that kind of. He's not that emotionally involved. Yeah. So
you even see him, regardless. He's even like he seems to be the only fighter that doesn't even seem to hold any grudge against the fight. When he enters into the cage, you see him. He goes to shake the fight. Yeah. And to me, that's. Among all fighters, that's like the best intimidation tactics. You enter into the cage, into the octagon rider. You want to fight and kill this man, but still, before you get to your corner, you go and shake him. You shake his corner man. you shake his corner man, you tell them God bless you,
Yeah.
God bless you, God bless you, and at the end of the day, you end up knocking him out and telling them sorry, and then you just go out.
And at the end of the day, leave all these things Ilia is doing. He knows he's facing a very
He
dangerous
knows he's in
guy.
for a fight.
Exactly.
Yeah, he knows he's in for a fight, so he's not playing around with it. Those things he's doing is just for the theatrics,
The promotions of it. Yes.
He understands what he's getting into, so it's going to be a good fight. That's all I
Yeah,
can
and
see at the moment.
we the fans are just going to have a fun first
Yeah.
main event for sure.
For sure.
I'm going to be picking Ilia too, but I think it's not going to be as easy as
No,
most fans think.
it's not that straightforward.
I don't even think it's going to be. I don't think the fight is going to even end the first round.
it's
Probably
stretch
they are going to get themselves bloodied. That one is
course.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be wiping blood off their faces, and I think mid round, I predict a third round finish.
3-4.
Yeah, 3-4.
Mine, second.
Yeah,
Second
it,
Second round.
not TKO.
Yeah, first.
Ilya.
No, second round. Yeah.
You see, when I pick my prediction now,
Yeah.
precisely now, you're picking your own prediction.
No,
too.
because these are strikers. Both of them are strikers too. Don't
Yeah.
forget that Charles also is a good striker.
Yeah.
Remember the fight he had with Michael Chandler? He knocked him down and he came back up, knocked him down. They knocked each other down.
Yeah.
And that fight was one of my best after Easy's versus Gastelum. So,
And if you look at the fights,
yeah.
Chandler has more of Ilia
Aggression.
Topuria.
Aggression, right?
Okay, like physique.
Physique.
Yeah.
And he will match forward kind of
Yeah, exactly.
bouncy
Yeah.
approach.
Yeah.
And Charles could just, I mean, they are way apart. I mean, Charles and Ilia,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, you definitely know that they have a game plan. There's no how they don't think there's a chink in the hammer that they can target.
Yeah.
Of course.
And guys, we have Alexandre Pantoja
Pantoja.
and Kai Kara France up here. Just let me read some stats out for you too.
Yeah.
Kai Kara France is 32 years old.
Yeah.
Pantoja is 35 years old.
Yeah.
They faced themselves
Yeah.
in the Ultimate Fighter 9 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where Pantoja came up
victorious,
trumps.
yeah.
But you can obviously say that both of them have evolved.
Of course, 9
They've
years is a
evolved.
long
9
time.
years is a long time. And Pantoja, he seems to be a champion that we don't really give him his full credit for his
dominance.
accolades. And this guy is going to be defending he's had 3 title fights. This is going to be his 4th title defense.
Yes.
And they're putting Kai Kara France in front of him. He's beaten most of his contenders twice. He's beaten Royval twice. He's beaten
Before the new guy, Askura.
Ozok.
Yeah, yes.
Steve Ozok that Kai Kara France knocked
Yeah,
out. He
yeah.
beat him. He beat Kai. I mean, how do you see the fight playing out, Chimzi?
The thing about Pantoja is, I think the last time I was here
Yeah.
was when he defeated. It was after the card. Watch the card when he defeated that new guy.
Asakura, the Japanese guy.
Yeah, and I was saying that the thing about Pantoja is he's an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Pantoja is not the best striker. He's not the best wrestler. He's not the best. There's nothing you can point him out and say this is what. But he does everything like he's above
All
average
round.
on every. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's going to mix it up. Pantoja is definitely going to. He's going to make it ugly. He's going to make it dirty.
Yeah.
He will clinch you. You try and take you down. You stand up. You try and. So you can't really predict where Pantoja is going to take the fight, right?
Yeah.
And Kai Kara France, on the other hand, he's Easy's teammate.
Yeah.
And we all know the downfall of that team.
Yeah.
Their wrestling, their grappling is always what usually lets them down. So I'm going to lean towards Pantoja.
Really?
To be honest, I want Kai Kara France to win.
Yeah.
Because he's been on a journey. He's been on a very long journey. But I see Pantoja getting it done.
You don't seem to agree with him.
You don't have to agree with me, man. But that's what it is.
Why do you say? What's your view?
Well, one thing about this, like you said, he's an MMA fighter, but he's not complete because you say he's just an average in all.
Pantoja?
No, Pantoja, yeah. He's average in the Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, he doesn't
striking,
seem to excel at one particular skill set.
That shows that his responsiveness is 99% when it comes to whatever you throw at him, he throw it back to you. He doesn't want to give you. He doesn't want to take the last shot, which is good as a fighter. But Kai Kara France, I always talk about underdogs. The pressure is more on you, the champion, than the underdogs, because Kai Kara France, he has been there. He has had so many losses. He has lost to Pantoja during the Dana White Contender Series 9 years ago, which you just said.
No, that was
Ultimate Fighter.
Don't you think that is going to play a big role in that? Because you beat me once, we're going to face off in the next bout in the championship matter.
But how about
It
the thoughts
depends.
that he
This guy
has an
beat me
edge?
before.
He has the edge
And this
over
guy
him.
is coming to fight.
Yeah.
I've beat this guy before,
Yeah.
so
He beat him before,
It just
but this
depends
is
on how it
involved
goes.
now. Yeah, we're talking about this now, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that his grappling won't be a tool for him on that bout? Because I always talk about players.
who's grappling?
Kara France.
He doesn't have the best
He has.
grappling.
I saw his.
He doesn't have
I saw his recent.
great grappling.
I saw his recent trainings and everything.
He's been training on
He has-
grappling. Why do you
exactly.
think that is so?
That's-
Because he's going to go and be fighting. He's going to be
He
fighting
wants-
a great grappler.
He wants to have a defense and also an attack too. You don't just feel like I'm also. These guys are professionals. Don't expect that since he's the champion, he's going to come out to anything.
But the thing about grappling is you can't learn how to grapple in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
But there's
You
always
can try to be better at your defense, but then it's muscle memory. These guys have been doing this thing like.
Who do you give the striking edge to?
the striking edge to? Slightly to Kai Kara France.
Who do you
Slightly.
give the grappling edge to?
Pantoja for sure.
Who do you give the submission edge to?
Pantoja.
So
We'll see.
You see, there are more paths to victory for Pantoja.
and Pantoja has
stronger
been
chin.
in this title like this.
Yes.
He already knows. Once you have a taste of gold,
Yeah.
it's difficult to
let go.
To let go. I understand the hunger that you say for Kai, and again for Kai from France, the resurgence of the Aussies.
Yeah.
Volk,
Yes.
an Australian, has just won the belt, featherweight belt. He's seen
Zealand.
that.
Exactly.
JDM at middleweight has just at middleweight.
Yeah.
JDM,
Yes.
that's welterweight rather. I just won gold too,
Yes.
an Australian. So that could be
He's from.
a motivation to him.
And let me
He's
tell you
New
something
Zealand,
about Kai Kara France. He's from the Maori. You know, I don't know if you watch the All Blacks in the New Zealand. Yeah, he's from New Zealand. The Maori, those are the native of New Zealand. You know, he's a warrior, not from the belt. I don't really see like you should underestimate him because of one or two things. A couple of what you just said previously. These are guys that are close to him that has won the belt. Don't you think that I want to do mine too as well? What made you think that Usman's brother went through that lens to win the fight?
To win the fight last
because
week.
of his brother, right?
Yeah, that was an extra motivation.
Exactly.
But at the same time, you could also say that Pantoja too is extra motivated.
He has been
yeah.
there, so
let me tell you why I say he's extra motivated.
Yeah.
Pantoja behind Islam, who is pound for pound number one.
Yeah.
Pantoja has the second highest title run.
Yeah.
Guess where he's ranked at pound for pound?
Like 4?
10th.
Oh.
10th. And is behind Islam, who is ranked number one. Even fighters that are not champions are ranked pound for pound. And he trains at AT&T with them, Dustin Poirier. And
he's just cool. He's just a chill guy. Just like he's not even like Mira. Mira is fun guy. This one is just a chill champion. He doesn't want to. He doesn't have to trash talk.
That's the thing about the flyweights, right? Flyweights have always been like put under the radar. It's just see Demetrius Johnson. He was champion for very long, but no one really sings about his glory.
Yeah.
And that division is just. And I was saying something to you before we started the pod. In flyweight at the moment, right? As long as you're in the top 15, just get one proper win.
Good win.
You can fight for the title.
Yeah.
So I feel like Pantoja is the one that's really, really creating that, defending his title multiple times in recent times.
Yeah.
In
this
that
is
division.
going to be his fourth title defense.
So I feel like if he can run through Kai Kara France, they'll start to pay more attention.
Means that he's beaten from the first 5. He's beating them twice, and that's what seems to always, in my opinion, dim the flyweight light, because it's like when they have a champion, the champion seems to be kind of dominant and just
make it look easy.
Yeah, whether over contenders.
It's almost like they are no good enough contenders.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why immediately you make a statement, they are trying to make you fight for the belt.
Yeah.
Immediately you make a statement, even though you're ranked 15.
Yeah.
When you get one proper win.
Yeah. For Fetty, how do you see the fight going?
Well, like I said, I'm not going to go for the Pantoja. He should go to wherever he wants to go to, and I'm going to come out shots because I believe in new things.
Yeah.
You know, when you want to focus on the old things, you're still going to get same results.
Yeah.
I believe in reform. You know, he has had some reform and losses. That's Kai Kara France.
Yeah.
And I believe that he's going to come out on that bout.
So you're picking Kai Kara France to
I'm
win?
going to pick him. Even if he's the underdog, underdog, I'm going to come out with him because of, you said it previously.
Yeah.
I can get my motivation from a child. You know, he's motivated with people around him, you know, the Asian people, you know, and he's a tough guy too, you know, facing a tough guy like Pantoja and having the mind that you've lost to this guy previously. Don't you feel like he's going to watch his videos over and over, train harder than ever, you know? I believe that he's going to come out on that bout because I don't just want to. There's no way he's going to come out. That's Pantoja is going to come out tall in that bout because he's making it look like I've done this, I've done that. You know, the division is all mine. There's nothing he can maybe.
Well, it's true now.
But it's true.
I don't like to be emotional with my picks, right?
No,
I don't like to say
I'm not emotional.
I don't like to say this person has gone through. No. It's just what is right in front of us, what we can see,
stats.
the stats. You know what has come. So
He's on his 7-fight win streak.
do you understand?
That,
So
Pantoja.
Yeah, who believed that Edward?
Now he's repeating wins.
Who believed that Edward to come out victorious against Usman?
Yeah, well,
in the third fight.
those are moments where lightning strikes the bottle.
Same will happen this weekend.
That's what you see, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
good. So you're picking Kai Kara France.
Because Usman dominated that bout from 1 to 4 round, and he just got a cheap shot, and that was it.
Yeah.
So for me to say this is not even emotion, there is no in fighting. There is no emotion because somebody you just face now, you end up hugging them. So.
The
Those are
Leon
the
Edwards
emotions,
and Usman fight. No one. If I asked you to predict the fight, no one at that moment, even if you have picked Leon Edwards to win, you won't have
be 100%.
No, you would have stated that Usman would have dominated him, and then at the 4th round he head kicks him to the moon. That is just a lightning striking bottle at that moment. Now, what you are saying now is if you are relating it to that situation, what you are saying now is Pantoja will probably dominate Kara France, and then something spectacular is just going to happen, and Kara France is going to win. That's what you're probably. That's what you're saying.
What about Paul Craig versus Anchor Life?
These are
exactly.
Emotional,
so I believe in things like
that. Your total belief is just that Kara France is just going to win. Regardless.
Winning is winning. Whether it's IPOC, whatever.
James, how do you see the fight going?
I mean, like I said, it might go the distance.
Yeah.
It might go the emphasis on might. But then one way or the other, Pantoja will just get it done. He might just get split decision or he'll win 3 rounds and Kai Kara France will manage to get 2 or 1. I feel like Pantoja will get the job done.
So what are the odds for it?
Of course, Pantoja is definitely the favorite.
Pantoja is the favorite. But guys, this is what I see. Yeah. I see Kai Kara France knocking out Pantoja 3rd round.
That's good.
Yeah, Pantoja. I watched a couple of his fights, especially one against Herzog, the Australian guy. Yeah. Yes. And one thing I noticed about his fight is like he builds into fight. He has that warrior spirit that okay. It's like something strikes him inside the fight and he realizes that now I'm in a fight.
Yes.
And then you now see him fighting.
I like what you just said about him building into fights. I watched a couple of his fights and I saw that in him that, like you said, he doesn't have a proper style. He allowed you to show your style to him before he knows how to counter your style too, which is good as a MMA fighter.
And he's like a wet towel. Yes. Once he gets hold of you, he's all over you.
Yes.
You will just be all over you. You can't. He exhausts you too. He frustrates you.
Make it as obvious as possible.
But I just feel like with the resurgence of the New Zealanders and the Australian, I feel it's just Kai Kara France moment. And it's just what I've just been
I hope
sensing,
his
looking
grappling
at
doesn't let
it.
him down.
Yeah.
I hope his grappling doesn't let him down, because that's his own.
If he gets to,
can be
if he gets to decision,
yeah.
if he gets to the final bell,
Yeah.
I see Pantoja winning,
Of course,
because that means he's dominated him in sections, in rounds.
Yeah.
But if the bout is going to end early,
Yeah.
I'm giving Kai Kara France knockout.
No, that means you're talking about their tank, man, because I believe in both guys. They are strong enough for you to be able to compete for the belts. That means you're qualified. You're not an amateur. So I believe that both guys will go to the distance in that bout.
Yeah.
Pantoja is a bigger dog, so he'll just
Yes.
he'll just make it dirty and
What made you
uglier.
think that? Anyway, let's see. I believe in. I don't know if you saw the other guy on the what's it called on YouTube that said this guy is going to beat what's it called Roundtree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the joy of picking fights.
Who's that, Jabba Hill?
Yeah, I said my heel is going to.
You see what you
calm.
see.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the joy of
Yeah.
watching and predicting fights. You see what you see,
Yeah.
and the uniqueness of we humans is when you
Yeah.
watch a fight or when you see a fighter,
Yeah.
you can see the striking ability, and I acknowledge it, but disregard it
Yeah.
as what is going to be what's going to be in
downfall.
play
Yes.
in that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now look at, for all I'm just going back to
Yeah.
Usman Buckley.
Yeah.
For all Buckley's trash talk and all,
Yeah.
even and we wanting Usman to win, at the back of our head, we're
knew that
looking
power
at
was
him.
there. Buckley can knock this guy out. Yeah.
None of us knew or thought that Baba was going to start shooting double leg takedown and all. And that's the thing of game planning for fights.
Exactly.
A fighter can be better than the other fighter, but this other one has a better game plan than the other one and
Exactly.
still wins.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. This.
And this takes us to a third bout.
Yeah.
I think this fight is going to be the number one title contender fight for our co-main event.
Yeah.
This is Brandon Royval and Joshua Van. Raw dog. And Joshua Van just fought UFC 316
Yeah.
couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
He knocked out Bruno Silva in spectacular fashion.
Yeah, sorry.
Brandon Royval, I don't even always know. Sometimes I don't even know what he is, whether he's a grappler or he's a striker or he's just a fighter, because you see him he's just all out there throwing different kind of things at you. And
He's Brazilian. He started normally jiu-jitsu, so I think his base is his ground game, right? Then he started to throw hands.
Yeah.
When he started to venture into MMA, you understand?
Yeah.
But then for that fight, I'm going to give the edge to Josh.
Yeah, because he's coming new, fresh.
He's fresh. He's been more active. He has more momentum on his side, And like I said earlier, in this flyweight division, Van, I think he's ranked 11 or some 14. I be 11, something like that.
Yeah,
he's ranked really low, Sha. That's Josh Van.
Yes,
but
he's 11th. He's ranked 11th.
Right. And Royval is ranked number 1.
Yes, but about the age, Van is 23, Royval is 32.
Experience can play a factor, but Van just has that momentum on his side at the moment.
But I don't think Brandon has a chin.
That's another thing.
He gets knocked down.
He gets knocked down a lot.
Very often.
He has been in a lot of fights, Sha, in the UFC. That thing plays a factor. Over time, these fighters, they tend to, deteriorate their chin and, just their abilities in general. But then, a fight is a fight. You never know till they step in there.
Yeah. Fedi, what do you think?
Well, the fight is going to go experience versus young. I always like to use the terms experience versus young.
Yeah.
Because I've been there before, and like you said, the moment to test the gold, you will not like to let go of it, right? And I'm always a believer of new things. I believe that whatsoever that's coming up young is eager to test what you've had.
Yeah.
And it's eager to replace you. So I believe in replacements and everything. But to Josh, well, I believe that since he has the strength and the aggression, that's going to be another problem for Roy, because is
And that guy's got power.
yeah, exactly.
Lot
So
of it.
Rival is very inconsistent.
Yes.
He's going to win
Yeah.
today. He will lose
Exactly,
tomorrow.
and if he allows the game to go on his own path, if he allows Josh to control the match, it's going to be a problem for him. But I feel like many people actually, I just want to picture this point. After Usman's bout with Buckley, many fighters have gone back to their trainings. They've thought about they've asked Usman on how to win fights.
Even Buckley wants to train with
Exactly.
him.
So,
He wants to start
I believe
shooting
that.
double leg.
I believe,
Warriors.
exactly. I believe that Usman has reformed the UFC
Yeah.
because he now made it look like there's always a time of reform. I don't believe that you say 8 weeks is not enough for you to reform. Yeah, it is. Since you
No, I said 8 weeks is not enough for you to learn how to grapple
properly.
more than someone that has been grappling his whole life.
like I believe
Yeah,
that
you know.
I believe that all MMA fighters are complete. It must be. They all have all whole tools depending on what you're good at. Just like what Sheikh said, that most times after grappling, practicing and everything, you tend to forget about some things. You just tend to go back to things that you've been used to. So that's my view on
exactly
that. But I'm
what
gonna-
I said.
So I'm
8
going to give
weeks
it
is
to
not enough.
my prediction. I'm going to give it to Josh.
Josh,
Yeah,
yeah.
because he's more
And this
eager.
this fight is even closer on the odds makers than what we think. And when going back to the main event, that we were thinking that is a pick him.
Yeah.
Omo is not though.
Can you
Ilia is a big
Favorite.
Big favorite. In
favorite.
fact,
What are the odds?
Topuria is 1.21. That is, if you put on every 1K you put on Topuria,
You get
if he
just
wins,
200
you
anyhow.
just get 200. But on every 1K you put on Charles, you're getting
What is
4K, 4K,
Four
4K 200.
4.2.
Yes,
4.2 odds.
that's massive. In fact, and same thing with Pantoja. He's a big favorite
Of course.
against Kai Kara
Understand.
France.
All the favorites will lose this weekend.
Oh wow!
You have a team against the favourites,
It's always been like that, and then this takes us to the conclusion of our. Well, there are other fights on the card,
Yeah.
but for lack of time,
Darius.
we have Darius and Mokano.
Yeah.
We have Tybot Payton that just got beaten by Barcelos.
Yeah.
His chance for redemption against Lima Felipe. But for our 3 bouts that we've chosen,
Yeah.
I want us to recap so that our audience can hear our picks,
Predictions, right?
our separate picks.
Okay.
For the main event, co-main and Royval, Brandon and Joshua.
Josh,
Chimzi, what are your picks?
Okay, for the main event, I leaned slightly towards Ilia.
Yeah.
Just because of the odds and just because of momentum and all that. For what's the second bout?
Co-main, Pantoja, Kai Kara.
Pantoja, of course, because I feel like he has more paths to victory.
Yeah.
Then for Josh and Brandon Royval,
Yeah.
I chose Josh just because of more activity, younger. I feel like he wants it more than Royval. Of course, the experience can play a role, but nah, I'll just give it to. I'm a betting man, so when I'm picking the odds, I'm going to just give it to Josh. Yeah.
Yeah. And Freddy, what are your picks?
Yeah,
I know yours is going to
All the
go.
others, give it all the other notes.
well. I'm always come up with what's suitable for me. You know, I feel like I believe in. I always use the word. I believe in new things.
Yeah.
At the same time, too, when I see what's right and I feel like it's cool, I'll pick it. But when it comes to Topuria versus Oliveira,
Yeah.
I said earlier that if Oliveira will be able to escape the first 7 minutes, 25 seconds, he's going to
Yeah.
come out victorious.
So
Like I said,
okay.
it's a difficult prediction on that bout. I would like to give it to Topuria, but I don't want him to win the bout.
So who are you picking?
Topuria.
You're picking Topuria.
Still, yeah.
Okay, how about Pantoja and Kai Kara France?
No, Kai Kara France. 100%.
You're picking Kai Kara France?
1,000%.
Okay.
And
Royval.
Royval versus Josh.
Hmm.
The new guy is going to come out, so that's Josh, because he wants to be in the top 5, you know, getting to your belts, and he doesn't want any potholes. You know, Royval is going to serve as a pothole to him, so he's eager to step on him and get through to the belt. So
Yeah. So for me,
Yeah.
these are my own predictions.
Yeah.
On the main event, I'm not going to I'm not going to pick a precise winner, but for anybody that is going to be listening to us and following our predictions, for my prediction, for Ilia versus Charles, will the fight go the distance? The fight is not going to go. The fight isn't going to go the distance. For Pantoja and Kara France, I don't know. My mind just keeps going to Kara France. I think there's going to be a change of baton in this fight. So I'm going to be picking Kara France. For Royval and Brandon Royval and Joshua Van. Yeah. For the fact that Joshua is just fresh off a knockout and he's in form, he's like in gear.
Yeah.
I feel he's going to knock out Brandon.
Well,
if he doesn't knock him out, he's going to win Brandon. So my pick will be win. Joshua winning.
Yeah. This is at least for the first time in a long time we're on the same side.
Are we on the same part?
Yeah, seriously. I feel serious. I'm even surprised.
And guys, we'll be having our watch party this Saturday as usual. You are for all fan MMA enthusiasts. If you want to watch, come. Is a gathering of fight lovers where we just talk about fights. We watch the fights together. We have just in between bouts. There are questions. There are prizes. There are gifts, and it's just a fun time for us to just watch fights. It's more fun when I'm watching fights with people than just sitting and watching alone. And I'm sure that you would enjoy it if you're in Abuja and you want to watch fights with us this Saturday, 10-11 p.m. Just walking by in our venue that will be posted later in the week. And guys, Chimsy, we got into the end of the show. Fedi, thank you guys for always showing up when we call you.
Always good to be here, man.
Thank you. What better thing than to talk about fights and just gist about it? It's always a fun time. Yeah, and guys, thank you for watching. When you watch, kindly subscribe. We are doing great things here, and your support means a lot. And on this episode, it's a wrap, yo.
Welcome to the Casual Experience.